But really, I just want to share the passion.
What's up, Coil Crew? We are here today with Sean Crawford from Legacy Retics. If you haven't already, go over and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Sean, finally got to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice.
Super awesome. Give us a little bit of background on your current retic collection. Obviously, you've been in the game for a while. I think you've done, a breeding or two, partnership breeding.
Yeah.
Give us a little backstory.
So I got into it 3 years ago. Took Garrett's advice. Spent a lot of money. Got mostly genetic stripe stuff, dwarf, super dwarf stuff. Working with some pure localities. Hoping to have some pures this year. We've got that wild-caught Callowtail male. Should be fun. I think he's produced one clutch.
Right.
So it'd be the second that he's produced.
Story of our lives, man.
Yeah.
Having kids, getting retics,
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, yeah, we have expensive taste, that's for sure. But no, we're super excited for the super dwarf market and kind of where everything is going. It's just really cool to meet people like yourself that are really passionate about caring for your animals. You can tell from your YouTube videos that you really care about your animals and put a lot of love, attention into them. So tell us a little bit about the direction of and the projects that maybe you're looking forward to, or you've done a couple breedings, right?
Yeah, I haven't really had any luck. Scott had some luck with that one female for me. Really, it's just bringing in more of the recessive traits.
Right.
Some of the stuff we're not seeing, like the genetic stripe, I love it, and it has really good combinations. Really just having fun with it. You know, I see some new stuff come up, and it's like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I want it.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's $3,000 here and there for something that you just have to have?
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the cool thing too. Right now we're in kind of this revolutionary time where we have some of the big breeders. We've got Reach Out Reptiles. We've got some of these other people as well. But it's kind of open right now in terms of the industry, and there's a lot of room for a lot of new breeders to come up to focus on some of these recessive projects, because as we all know, those take 8, 10, sometimes 15 years to get to that point, right? So what are some of the recessive projects that you would like to see in Super Dwarf?
Genetic stripe. I mean, that's really the one that ever since I was a little kid, I think I saw. It was one of the earlier morphs, and I was like, man, that's cool.
Right.
So that, and really the combinations that go hand in hand with that, I don't even know. I've got wild ideas in my head, but I'm sure they've been done. I mean, the phantom genetic stripe stuff's really cool. Right. That stuff's really cool. Right. So we're hoping for some of that. We've got that.
And now you have 2 kids. What are your wife's thoughts on the retic breeding business?
It's not bad. It's not what you think. People think these snakes are huge and uncontrollable, and they're not. They're really easy to take care of. They're hardy animals, and the limiting factor is space. That's the biggest thing. Like, I had to give up one room for this new baby. So if I have another kid, I've definitely got to get a barn. Size is my limitation, really. That's the only thing that holds us back. She doesn't care what I do too much as long as I'm home every night.
My wife shares the same sentiment as well, in terms of it's okay if you have snakes. At the same time, it can't take over the whole house.
Yeah.
And there's also got to be some sort of a direction, right? Is there going to be, it might take a few years, but is there going to be some sort of an ROI on the money that we've spent, right? And some of that stuff too, where there is potential. Yeah, you like to hope. And the cool thing is adding this to part of your life, I think, is so enriching, right? Because you're taking care of these other animals. You can share it with your children. Talk a little bit about that. What's the future vision of Legacy Retics?
Well, I mean, I came up with Legacy for a reason. I want it to be a legacy. I want kids like our kids' age to be able to experience these larger snakes. You don't see them. Like, I mean, you go to the zoo and you might see one.
Right.
And it's like, okay, it's the longest snake in the world. Well, I can't house the longest snake, but I can house a super dwarf, a dwarf, even some of the mainlands with certain genetics that stay pretty small. But really, I just want to share the passion.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I was taught from a child to love and respect all animals, right? And I was obsessed with reptiles specifically. And it's interesting because there's so many people that are scared of snakes because we see them being man-eaters in movies and some of these other things that are portrayed by the media and propaganda and all these other things. And it's just not like that. And we know and learn to love these animals. And I think the big thing that draws us into super dwarves and retics in general is just how interactive they are and really how different they can kind of be in terms of their personality and some of those other things. But sharing that and teaching that and educating your kids in terms of what snakes are and how critical they are to a lot of the ecosystems. I see you saving a lot of like turtles on the road and stuff. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of eastern box turtles, which are kind of critically
threatened.
Critically threatened, I think is the right term. Hang on, Sissy, hang on. And we have a huge population of them, like within a couple mile radius of where I live. And so I don't know how many times I've been late to work, late to all kinds of events, because it's like, nope, turtle down the road, quarter mile, turtle. And it's cool. I actually had a car pull up a month ago full of kids, and I had a huge snapping turtle on the road. And so they're like, what is it? What is it? And they're watching this thing's going crazy. And I'm like, you can't freak out because these kids are loving it. And hopefully, I really hope that those kids go on and they pick up a snapping turtle one day and they see that, hey, don't run it over. You know, it takes 2 seconds, pull over. Same thing with snakes. I see snakes dead all the time. It's like, they can't get out of the way. I mean, if you can pull over, get out of the way.
Right. Well, and I just love the passion, once again, that you share. And the cool thing about this community is that everyone shares that passion and expresses that passion in different ways sometimes. And it's just really cool to see you with your family growing your brand. And, obviously you've had some obstacles and some different things that have happened. But the cool thing is that's all part of the journey and the story of Legacy Retics. I'm just excited to see kind of where you go in the future and just continue to share that passion. You know, you've been a great friend to me in the industry and helped me and given me good advice when I was getting started. So I really appreciate that. That's meant a lot to me, and I know to other people as well. Anyway, I'm grateful for you, and I'm excited to see where you go on your journey with Legacy Retics, man. I just wish you the best. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to meet you, man. Great guy.
All right, brother.